The sixth Cricket World Cup was played over 5 weeks in India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka in February-March 1996. Sri Lanka won the final with a magnificent dominating performance against favourites Australia. Early on, they got the benefit of two walkovers as both Australia and West Indies refused to play in Sri Lanka due to terrorist threats. But no one can argue that Sri Lanka were not worthy champions as they ruthlessly decimated every team they did play in all three countries. They thrashed Kenya and Zimbabwe at home, beat India convincingly twice in India, and then demolished England and Australia in Pakistan. In these conditions, they were easily the best team. The four highest impact players in the tournament were all Sri Lankan: Aravinda De Silva, Sanath Jayasuriya, Asanka Gurusingha, and Arjuna Ranatunga. Moreover, Jayasuriya was the highest impact bowler, and the three highest impact batsmen in the tournament were Aravinda, Gurusingha, and Roshan Mahanama. Seldom has a team dominated so much in a tournament, and seldom has a player, in this case man of the match in the semi-final and final, Aravinda De Silva. Both his innings in the semi-final and final were classic. In the semi-final at Calcutta, Sri Lanka were 1 for 2 when Aravinda walked in, which soon became 35 for 3. Aravinda's batting performance at that stage, a jaw-dropping counter-attack from him, was the stuff of legend. It has been said that De Silva was suffering from high fever at that point, and he was not sure of how long he would be able to bat, so he decided to attack from the beginning to maximize his utility. His 66 of 47 balls with 14 scintillating boundaries showcased his genius that March afternoon. Though he was out with the team score at 85, the momentum had shifted, and Ranatunga, Mahanama and Tilakaratne did their job ably and helped Sri Lanka reach 251. India began well, with Tendulkar looking ominous, but they crashed from 98 for 1 to 120 for 8 in less than an hour before some people in the horrified crowd started pelting stones and making fires in the stands. The match was called off and awarded to Sri Lanka. During the 2011 World Cup, when Kolkata was denied an India match, perhaps this incident should have been brought up with more conviction than it was. Aravinda also took 4 wickets in the tournament, 3 of them in the final. That, coupled with his unbeaten 107 in that match, after Sri Lanka were 23 for 2, made this the highest impact performance in World Cup final history. Interestingly, Aravinda also absorbed the most pressure of falling wickets in that tournament by a batsman. A staggering fact for a player who played the leading role in a team that eventually appeared to win so comfortably. It underlines his importance to his team more than anything else. It is odd that the Man of the Tournament award was given before the final. That is a strange practice that thankfully seems to have changed now. Jayasuriya got it, even though Aravinda was emphatically the highest impact player in that tournament. However, Jayasuriya was the second highest impact player. People mostly remember his devastating innings against India in the group game and the one against England in the quarterfinal. But the really interesting fact is that his bowling had almost 30% more impact than his batting. He took just 7 wickets in the tournament, but 6 of them came at the knockout stage, all top or middle order batsmen. His 3 for 12 broke India's batting spine in the semi-final. He also broke the Tendulkar-Manjrekar partnership then and eventually got them both. This is also remembered as the pinch-hitting World Cup, despite Mark Greatbatch's heroics in 1992. Jayasuriya and Kalu Witharna combined to devastating effect, even though it really was Jayasuriya who did the heavy lifting in this tournament. Kalu Witharna in fact had a failure rate of 80% and had a batting impact even lower than Muralidharan in the tournament, though it is not fair perhaps to compare one innings with 5. Like this one, the tournament had some bizarre stories. West Indies lost to Kenya but beat tournament favourite South Africa in the quarterfinal. And then they lost to Australia from a great position in the semi-final. Even after reducing them to 17 for 4, they allowed them to get away to 207 with Stuart Law and Michael Bevan playing their most important innings of the tournament. Chasing that, West Indies were 165 for 2 in the 42nd over. They were cruising, and then they lost 8 wickets for 37 runs in a panic started by Shane Warne. This was the subcontinent, so spinners reigned. Sanath Jayasuriya, Venkatpati Raju, Roger Harper, Anil Kumble and Shane Warne were the highest impact bowlers of the tournament. And only after that came Waqar Younis and Curtly Ambrose, as far as bowling impact goes. Pakistan had their captain Wasim Akram opting out due to an alleged side sprain just minutes before the quarterfinal against India in Bangalore, which led to his house being stoned in Lahore. A typically substantial innings from Navjot Sidhu, India's third highest impact ODI batsman ever after Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar. And then some breathtaking hitting from Ajay Jadeja helped India reach a total Pakistan could not reach, despite a great start. The most notable thing after that was the abuse Javed Miandad got when he came out to bat for the last time for Pakistan from a disgracefully partisan and uncouth Bangalore crowd, which even led to some jingoistic vandalism after the game. Sachin Tendulkar was the tournament's highest scorer, and this was the World Cup that saw him at his very best, consistently. He had almost double the impact of the next highest impact Indian batsman, who was Navjot Singh Sidhu. Brian Lara was neck to neck with Tendulkar in the tournament in terms of impact, despite scoring only half the runs Tendulkar made. However, Lara's strike rate impact was almost twice that of Tendulkar, and his contributions eventually more crucial to his team's wins, especially that scintillating 111 against South Africa in the quarterfinal, a big match innings. Mark Waugh was the next highest impact batsman. He was the only batsman to score 3 centuries in the tournament and had the second highest runs tally impact. His strike rate was relatively poor though. His twin Steve Waugh had a relatively quiet World Cup. How things would change 3 years later. Despite Australia's thrashing in the dew-affected final, they had, in many ways, been the most consistent side in the tournament. Except for Shane Lee in their side, who played just one game, every single player in their squad had an impact of at least one, regardless of how many games he played. Not many knew then that Australia was just revving up.